Wimmera Football League here on the Friday night sports show. The repeat on Saturday morning with Jace and the Flowman. And we've got Scotty Stewart from the Warwick Herald to join us on Wimmera Football. Scotty, how are you?
G'day, Wayne. Yeah, going well, thanks.
Good. Obviously going a bit better than the Warwick Eagles last weekend up at Hopeton, who were thumped by a very good Giant side, 25-17 to 2-4. You saw the game. You watched your son run around, probably the best of your boys. But, gee, there's not a lot to write about in the Warwick Herald about the local Eagles side.
No, you're right there, Wayne. You're spot on. She was all about the Giants last week. They unveiled a fair few recruits out of that they've picked up over the summer months, and we saw the side on paper, and not without knowing a few of these fellas that were going to be joining the Giants. Thought, they're obviously going to be some good players, and they were some good players. I tell you, the Eagles went in; they were completely undermanned and overwhelmed with the way that the day turned out. They had a few players missing with a bit of experience, and they brought in some other kids for their debut games. But yeah, as I said, it was all about the Giants, and they pretty well proved what everyone was thinking that went through the gate. Very strong team, and they dominated throughout the game. But good first half by the Eagles, but a young side, they're never going to keep up with a side that's like the Giants are going to put up this year. So they dominated the second half. It was all one-way traffic, and it was all Giants' way.
It was. Linden and Parrish were very good for them. Webster boys were good up forward. Brock Orville back from his stint over at Charlton. Got 7 goals. He was named on the interchange bench. I don't think he stayed there for very long. It was a big win by the Giants. But young Stewart and Penny kicked goals for Warwick, and young Powell, C. Penny, C. Powell, D. Stewart, P. Hubner and J. Sobey, the better players for your boys. Other matches. What about this? This was a big surprise. Stall, 18-16-124, and Nil kicked less than your Eagles kicked. 1 goal, 5-11. I mean, are the Nil Tigers going to be going for the wooden spoon against the Warwick Eagles this early?
I think you'll be right there. That'll be the clash of maybe for the wooden spoon when they come around, because from all reports and what I've heard, they're Nil. They're like the Eagles. They're a bunch of kids. They don't have a lot of experience in there. They're just blood and a heap of young fellas. I did read during the week from Stall that they put a lot of emphasis on their defence that day against Nil, and they're 1-5 for the day. It showed that their defence were working pretty well. So, the Warwick Eagles will find out all about that this weekend, but Stall far too good. You'll say it in a minute, but that big fella Shane Field, he played his 200th Wimmera senior game last weekend and celebrated in style with 7 goals. So proved far too strong, the Stall boys. Yeah,
best player on the ground too. In your 200th game, you take that every day. But I reckon just with Nil, no under 14s. I noticed in looking through the grade, is there just like you've got the similar issue with the Southern Valley Giants at the 17-year-old age group, and I know that even the bigger towns like Warwick, Nabil, with Warwick and Brim, are still struggling for numbers in junior comp in the Wimmera League, which is traditionally, I guess, with the big towns like Stawell, Ararat and Horsham with its 2 sides, have been able to field these sorts of numbers regularly.
A big surprise, that one, when I found out about the Nil under 14s, because for years of our kids growing up, you're always heading over to Nil to Davis Park, and they've got this great little oval set up out the back of the footy sheds there, and that oval was going all day. You'd have under 12 kids running around there from 10 o'clock in the morning, and they loved it. Had a great time over there, and there was always a lot of Nil kids, a lot of Nil juniors. But generational gap, I think, and I have heard that the kids are still there, but I think there's a lot of girls compared to boys in that age bracket. So the Nil under 14s have had to disband for this year, but they'll be back next year, I would imagine.
Yeah, hopefully. What about Minyip Matoa? Good numbers, particularly in the senior A grade level, because they kicked 17-8, 110. A workmanlike win over Ararat 9-6-60. I thought there might have even been a bigger margin here, but I thought Ararat's performance is pretty credible here, given Minyip Matoa and what we've heard about them.
I think everyone basically took that out of that game, Wayne, when they saw the result with Ararat. And I know Matty Wilder, the coach of Ararat, he was he was a bit of an interested onlooker that day that Minyamatoa played Warwick Eagles in that opening round, and I think he took a fair bit out of that day because finished with 9-6 and outscore the Burrows in that last quarter, 4 goals to 2. That's a good feather in Matty's cap on that one. But yeah, the Burrows obviously they dominated the first 3 quarters and set up their lead and proved too strong. But no, Ararat were very, very good by the looks of it.
Yeah, McIntyre, that's T with 4. McGrath kicks goals regularly, 4. Petering, Morgan and also Stone all got 2. And Johns, T McIntyre, K Delahunty, B Cameron and J Delahunty and J Bellow were the better players, and Taylor with a couple, and Woods and Mills also joined in with 2 for the Ararats. And finally, it was the battle for Anzac glory, and it was the Horsham Saints 12-84. Winning at the Horsham City Oval, 7-7-49. And I think there'd be a fair few people around the place would be saying that, gee, the Saints are going to be worth watching this year, and maybe the Horsham D's, after this result, are back right where the other sides in this comp looking to play top 5 football are going to want to see them.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle like that all throughout the season, with that, especially that top 6 in the Wentworth League this year. But this game, yeah, I think without knowing full facts, but we might have been a bit of history making last week, the first Sunday night game over at City Oval. But the Saints were the ones that got the chocolates in the end, and pretty tight game all throughout. But got away in that second quarter and then built their lead through the third quarter, just maintained it, and then held off and. To get the win last week and then sitting out a bye this weekend, they would have taken that one any day of the week for sure.
No, certainly they would have. Round 3 action, Ararat play Horsham, and gee, this is a beauty now down at the Alexandra Oval. And after the Rats last week were credible, and Horsham come off that loss, it's a really bit more tough one to pick than what we might have thought.
Yeah, you're exactly right there. It probably does close up a little bit, and being down at Ararat, so the kids down there, they love running around that home deck, and they'll appreciate the fine weather and the open spaces down there at Alexandra Oval. But to pick a winner here, you'd think Horsham, because they might have a bit more overall strength, but Ararat showed last week against the Burrows they're up for the fight, and good luck to Matty Walder down there, and hopefully. He'll perform very well again, but I think the days might be just too strong. All
right, Stallgate, Warwick Eagles, your home deck, Anzac Park is that magnificently named in honour of the Anzacs, and gee, you'll come out hard and try your hardest, but Stall, I think, will have your measure.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're in for another tough day. There's no doubt about that, but it is good to be home with the boys have been on the road for the first couple of weeks, and good to get back onto Anzac Park for this game. And the Store boys, they'll appreciate the good surface there at Anzac Park. And again, as I say, it's going to be in fine weather, and there'll be some good skills on display for sure. The Eagles welcome back a couple of lads from last week, which is good. They a former coach Ryan McKenzie, who's back in the side up forward, and a couple of other fellas just making their way back through. For their first games of the year, and they'll be strengthened up for sure. But as I said before, you got big Shane Field down there kicking 7 goals last week, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on the Eagles' defence, and a lot stronger side for the Eagles, so that'll be a good point for them.
Yeah, good one. Dimboola take on Neil over at Davis Park, and Dimboola, they, after sitting out last week, they'll be very happy to get back into action, and should be way too good for Neil.
I'm thinking that, Wayne, yeah, for sure. I think, Jimmy, they will be champing at the bit after their narrow win in the first round, and then sitting out a bye last weekend. So, yeah, they'll be keen, they'll be ready, and, unfortunately, the young Neil side, they might be in for another tough day, I think.
They will be, but what about this? The match of the round. We get to see Minyamatoa come up against the big test. The Beulah Recreation Reserve is the venue. Southern Mallee Giants will come out after their first up big thumping of the Warwick Eagles. We know that Minyamatoa did that in the first round also. So, what have we got?
Well, I don't think the Beulah ground will be big enough to hold all the cars that are going to get to this game, Wayne. I think that they'll be 12 deep going around the Beulah Reserve there, and there's good followings between the two sides, the Boroughs and the Giants, and because I've seen that over the last 2 weeks. I've had the games that the Eagles have played against these two sides, and there's been big crowds at both. So I put these two together, and she's going to be massive, and it's going to be a great spectacle. There'll be people coming from other places, I would imagine, to have a look at this. It's a bit of a test for the Giants. They had that one game last week against the Eagles where they dominated, and the Boroughs have done pretty well in their two games. But just good duels all around the ground, and seeing both these sides from key forwards, the backmen right through the ground. The midfield battle is going to be huge. The bench battle is going to be huge. The coaching style of both these clubs are both attacking. It's really going to be a good spectacle, and you never know. It could be a prelude to what might happen later on in the year. Who knows with how it all pans out? But a real good one for the league to round 3 to get this sort of game, and it definitely will be the highlight of the day. And if you ask me to pick a winner here on Beulah, the Southern Valley Giants on the home ground at Beulah, will be very hard to knock over, but maybe just at the minute, you might think that the Boroughs might be just a little bit too established. The Giants might need a couple more games to really gel with all their recruits and new players. But it's going to be a cracker, and it may well just be a single-figure margin to the Boroughs at the end of the game. Who knows?
All right, I'm going to go with the Boroughs to just beat Culmanchac Southern Valley Giants. It'll be a fantastic round of football, round 3 of Wimmera football, and Scotty Stewart from the Warwick Herald. It's been good to have you on board to talk about it.
Yeah, go on your way, no worries.